This tutorial will show you how to use Keynote using the iPad and how to transfer files from your Google Drive into your Keynote presentation. So first, let's launch Keynote. First thing we want to do is we want to create a new presentation. For the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to choose a white theme. On the left-hand side, you'll see we have one slide labelled with the number 1. We can add more slides down the bottom left by hitting the plus sign. For now, let's start with this slide. We can double tap to edit and we can put in our title. And this is our Keynote demo. I'm now going to add another slide. There are a range of different slide templates that I can choose. It depends on the type of slide that I want to set up. In this particular case, I want a slide with some bullet points. So I'm going to go down to the left-hand side there and the fourth one down for this one. Okay, so similar type of features. What I'm going to show you now is how to use some of the menu options which are at the top right of screen. The first one is the paintbrush. This is actually the formatting button. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to select something to edit and to format. So I'm going to choose the picture. This is a placeholder. So if I tap once on the picture, you see in the bottom right corner of the picture there is now a little plus sign. If I click on that, it'll take me to my media library where I can replace this picture with one from my own library. So I've tapped that little plus sign and it's now going to bring up my photos. And so I can scroll through my photos and select the picture that I want to use in place of that holder. And here it is. Okay, so I've taken a screen grab from a picture from my photo album. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to format it. So to do that, I'm going to press the little paintbrush just above it. Okay, so here it is. Because I'm selected on a picture, you see that with the blue edit bar mark things around the picture, you can see that I now have 3 tabs with which to play. The first one that comes up is the arrange. At least for me it is. It might default to style for you. This might have been the last one that I used. So I go to arrange, and what I can do here is if I want to overlay text with images, I can use the move back to front button to say put the picture underneath some text or over the top. Right now the picture is just on its own, so I don't need to worry about that too much, but I can flip it vertically or horizontally if I want to. If I go across now to the image tab, it brings up a range of different options. And here they are. So the first one is I'm going to show you the edit mask. So I'm going to press edit mask. And what I'm now going to do is it's now going to bring up basically cropping. And so here it is. Alright. And there's just a little lag on my demonstration here. Here it is. Just lost our Wi-Fi connection there. Okay, so we're on edit mask, and so what I can do here is you can see that actually the image is much larger than the actual frame that I'm being presented with. This means that the picture has been cropped. I can adjust that though by adjusting it out like this, or I can adjust it inwards. Let's just say if I want to just take that bit there and I want to crop it in nice and tight like that, I can then move my image into the frame, the little mini frame that I've created, and I can click done. Now what I've got is I've now got a cropped image that I can use. I'm going to go back to the format, which is the paintbrush, and here it is. Okay, so I can reset that mask And I'm not going to talk about Instant Alpha for the time being. I'm going to go across now to Style. Okay, Style, this is the way in which the image is presented on my screen. So here it is, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the one where my cursor's on, just here. There we go. And it now presents like this. Pretty cool, hey? Go back to my format. And if I go to Style, I can even put a border around it should I choose to. So I'll choose the chalk. Let's see what that looks like. Nothing too fancy. So what I'm going to do is I've decided, actually I don't like the border, so I'm going to go to Undo. And Undo is just here. Okay, that's that done. In my text box, if I click on my text box, you'll notice that at the moment it's left aligned, there is a bullet point, and vertically it's right in the center. What I want to do is I want to get rid of the bullet and I want it to be left aligned and right at the top of the text box. So I basically want the text starting here without the bullet. So I've selected the text box, and again I'm going to go to Format. And so here it is. You'll notice that there's a few different options up here now. We've got Arrange, Text and Style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, first of all, at the moment it is in the center. What I want is I want it at the top of the text box. There we go, I've made that adjustment. Next, if I select on the Text tab, I'm now going to have a look at the different text options, and I'm going to edit that as well. And I'm going to select Left Aligned. So previously I had bullet points, now I no longer have bullet points. If I select on 38 point Helvetica, you'll see a little arrow there. This means that there are more editing options available to me. I can adjust the size of the text, the color of the text, and again the font. And if I go to Style, I scroll through the Style, and you see there's my bullet point right there. And I've selected a different option. If I go to Style Options, again, the little grey arrow, I've now got 3 new areas that I can sort of play with. This is the fill. So if I don't want this background to be white, I can change it to say be black and maybe make the text white. And I can scroll through those options. Different color backgrounds, these are the fill. If I go to border, I can apply a border. Now I have a border around my text box, and I can adjust the width of it like that, and the style. If I go to Effects, I can put a reflection on. I can even apply a shadow.
Active, inactive, and unavailable.
Perhaps like that. And so you see down the bottom here, see there's a little shadow there on the text box. Okay, finally, I'm going to just deselect everything on my screen, and now I'm going to go to the little plus sign. And the little plus sign is just here on the edit menu. So if I click on the plus sign, this is where I can bring in all my other media. So it defaults straight to my camera roll, or to my photos, should I say. But I have other options as well. So for example, I can insert a table. I can insert a chart. I can make that 2D, 3D, or even an interactive. And if I scroll through these, you can see these are the 2D options, lots of different types of charts. If I go across to text, I can insert a text box independent of what was laid out for me in this particular slide theme. So I can add new ones. And I can add in other objects as well, like different shapes, arrows, and this one here is to create your own line or arrow, perhaps going on a curve like that one is. Next, I'm going to go to the little wrench. And it's here that you'll find a whole range of slightly more advanced things for your Keynote presentation. So one of them is the transitions and builds. So if I tap on an object, like my text box, I can build it in, build it out. This is how it will appear on the screen and then perhaps even disappear from the screen. So if I build it in, I can have anvil. And if I play that, boom, there it is, it lands. There are different options, and there's delivery, there's order, so I can put my transitions in a particular order. I can state how long they go for, when they build in, say on the tap, or perhaps after the previous transition. If you want to line up a few transitions and play them all in a row, one after the other, you can do that. The delivery, so if I've got various bullet points in my text box, I can drop them into the presentation one at a time, perhaps by paragraphs or by paragraph group. And then once I've put up a whole heap of different transitions, I can actually order these and put them in a specific order in which they should play during my presentation. And I'm going to click Done at the top right to say that I've finished. If I go back here, I can also put in presenter notes. These are notes that will only appear to me on my iPad, and they won't appear when I project to the screen in play mode. So when I'm playing my Keynote, these are notes that you won't see. These are the additional pieces of information that you may wish to include in your presentation so that you can maintain eye contact and things like that, but things that won't be visible to your audience. And there's a range of other settings there as well, which I encourage you to have a look at. Finally, when we're ready to, when our presentation is finished, if we click on the little share button, that's this one here, click on the share button, I've got a range of different options by which I can send out my Keynote. So first of all, I can send a copy. And I can email it. That would be the most obvious way for you to do this. I can open it in another app. And in doing so, I can save it in a specific type of format. So I could actually send it out as a PDF if I wanted to, or a PowerPoint. And I'm going to cancel that for the time being. And I can share the link via iCloud. This involves having your iPad signed in to your iTunes account, which many of you won't have, so many of you will not have that option available to you right now. To play the presentation, I press the play button. And there's not much there to see. In the next video, I'll show you how to import items from your Google Drive. If I click on the little plus sign, you'll see that I don't have the option of bringing in items from Google Drive. These are only things that are stored on my iPad. So that will be a very important thing for you to be able to learn.